Hi, I'm Sandra Abbey, and I just want to share some thoughts about the SIG, the special interest group I was able to facilitate this year as a teaching fellow for the Faculty Center of Innovation for this past academic year. I wish I could share everything that our SIG group, which had about 10 or 11 members in it, we had such rich discussions on a quarterly basis, and our final discussion is still to come, but we really enjoyed discussing how to create a connected, collaborative learning culture in your classrooms. So I just want to share some highlights of what we covered because I don't have enough time to go over everything, but we had an amazing set of quarterly discussions. The first one was to really talk about connectedness and what it means to have a connected community. Um, we looked at some of the literature on fostering connectedness and a sense of belonging and looked at those factors that a faculty member can most impact. One of the things we found is that there are several different methods that can be used both in online or face-to-face classrooms. And we explored those and talked about the methods that we use to try to foster this sense of connectedness. And we also realized that the most relevant experience for students in fostering that sense of belonging is that they felt connected with their peers, their fellow students. So we talked a lot about how to foster that connectedness. And that led to our second discussion that really focused on collaboration. Now, we looked at a lot of the literature on collaboration to find out if it really makes a difference. And here are some of the things that we found that were most meaningful to students. Students felt more collaboration or collaborative when they worked in small groups, even in pairs and in trios. So small groups where they could really get into detailed discussions. They also valued the small group discussions far more than they valued any team assignment or group project. In fact, they found that the team assignments and group projects, they didn't really collaborate on very much. They just coordinated assigning different parts of the assignment with each other. But the collaboration came in their discussions. So we talked about how to have more discussions that were collaborative versus team or group assignments. Finally, we talked about learning cultures and some of the high impact practices that some universities are beginning to try to develop learning communities or this sense of community in their programs and even across courses. So there are different things that are being done out there. Students do find that they feel more engaged and they feel more connected when there are more opportunities across curriculum to have the same instructor or to get to know instructors in more than one class and to collaborate and work together. So team teaching seemed to be something that some students really appreciated, or having a cohort of teachers all working together, especially in their freshman year, for example. But sometimes the cohorts, they didn't necessarily do any better in their content work for each class when they were in these learning communities, but they did score higher in things like critical thinking, being able to find information better. Their written and their communication skills were higher. So it was interesting, kind of a mixed bag between these learning communities helping with student performance. And one of the things that was pointed out in the literature is that just calling something a learning community doesn't make it so. And that many structures in higher education institutions don't really support some of these high impact practices. So faculty may be all on board with trying these out, but the way that they are assigned to courses, the way that they're paid, the way that their contracts are set up, don't necessarily translate into some of the practices, the team teaching, the learning community development that might be more impactful. So we're still exploring these things. And our final SIG session has yet to come. We'll be meeting later in April to really talk about how faculty can establish inclusive environments regardless of modality, how faculty can develop an environment of collaboration among the students versus group assignments, how instructors, staff, and students can connect and collaborate and maybe develop this learning community feel and environment beyond what goes on in any one particular class. So we're still reflecting on that, but this has been an amazing year. Have absolutely loved being part of the Faculty Center for Innovation and being a faculty fellow so that I could learn so much and share so much with my colleagues in our SIG. Hope you get a chance to participate in one. It's a great experience.